So, how do we know what is most important? How do we prioritize the work for ourselves and for our team? How do we communicate that? Often that leads into a lot of questions about tools, but this is a tool agnostic answer. It doesn't matter whether you have a digital tool like ClickUp or Agile or Trello. It doesn't matter if you have a physical board like a big whiteboard with post-it sticky notes. Nope, doesn't matter. Maybe it's even a piece of paper. Could be. When we think about how we decide what is important, there are numerous factors that have to be taken into consideration. How urgent is something? Is it a deadline to a funder that's in 2 or 3 days? Is it something that's got a rolling deadline or is at your convenience? That might be one of the factors you take into consideration. Maybe you're thinking about the value that it will deliver for the organization. So, not business value, but mission value. What is the value that might be delivered from that item? Maybe you're thinking about the risk for the organization. Maybe there's risk if you do the item that you have to consider. Maybe the risk is a cost of delay if you don't do the item. Maybe you have to think about the complexity of the item. Is it something that is going to take all your team members contributing in some meaningful way over the next few weeks or the next few days? Or is it something that one person is going to primarily be taking care of? These are different things that will help you decide where do I prioritize it within the backlog? Where do I help communicate with the team so that they could get underway? Now, again, that's coming from the perspective of the product owner, so the person in a Scrum team who is focused on prioritization and the delivery of value. Maybe you say, Diane, that's not me. I'm not the product owner. Maybe you're the Scrum Master. Maybe you're the awesome team member. When you think about how do I know what to prioritize? How do I know what to focus on? Well, in your team, you should be asking lots of questions of the person who is empowered to give information to help emphasize what is a priority, what should be done first, what maybe should be done second or third, maybe what should be set down until next month. Those are the sort of things that you want to be asking of maybe it's your vice president, maybe it's your development director, maybe it's your executive director or your chairperson, but you want to be asking lots of questions if it is not clear what about your work should be prioritized. Oh, I love product owner class. It always gets me so jazzed to talk about prioritization. In fact, just yesterday was when we had the latest session of class, and we went through 7 different methods of how people could prioritize. And everyone wrote down about 10 of their real work backlog items. And then we walked through how, with each of these different methods, might they consider prioritizing their list. So it was really personalized. Everyone had a very different approach. And I never even saw anyone's list. There was no pressure that they had to show it or talk about what the items were. But what we do know is that literally every single person in class had the order of their list shift. There was what they originally thought as they were quickly jotting down ideas and the priorities in front of them. And then as they considered the different methods that are used by different agile teams that have been successful for other groups, as they considered those different methods, each of the methods gave them a slightly different perspective, slightly different nuance, and they ended up, indeed, they shifted their list. In one situation, 2 items moved. For another participant, it was 6. Another, 8 of their 10 had moved. For yet another, the whole list was shaken up as they thought about the different methods for prioritization. That's great. There was no right or wrong answer to that exercise, but rather the hands on practice and learning of what it sounds like to prioritize work for yourself and how you might communicate it to others. That really, I think practicing is one of the most important things.